HOA Karen towed my truck from home, then claimed gas cars were illegal. The air smelled of gasoline and betrayal that evening, a faint whiff of something wrong lingering in the cul-de-sac. Tom Riley had lived on Maple Lane for a decade. His modest ranch house, a sanctuary of grease-stained overalls, and the hum of his trusty pickup truck. A mechanic by trade, he'd built a life fixing cars, his hands calloused from years of turning wrenches. His truck, a 1998 Ford F-150, wasn't just a vehicle, it was his livelihood, loaded with tools he'd saved for years to buy. Every morning, he parked it in his driveway, its faded red paint a quiet badge of his hard work. The neighborhood was peaceful, or so he thought, until Karen Whitaker moved in. Karen, with her pristine hybrid SUV and a clipboard always in hand, was the new HOA president. She'd swept into the role with a smile that didn't reach her eyes, her voice dripping with authority at every meeting. Sustainability is our future, she'd preached, waving pamphlets about electric vehicles and carbon footprints. Tom didn't mind her at first. He kept to himself, nodding politely when she rambled about greening the neighborhood. But her rules started small and grew sharp. No lawnmowers before 8 a.m. No visible trash cans. No unsightly vehicles. That last one made Tom's stomach twist. His truck wasn't a showpiece, but it was his. The trouble began on a muggy Tuesday. Tom came home from a long day at the shop, his shoulders aching, to find a neon orange sticker slapped on his truck's windshield. Violation non-compliant vehicle. It read, signed with Karen's looping signature. He tore it off, scoffing, non-compliant. It was street legal, insured, and parked on his own property. He figured it was a mistake. Maybe Karen's overzealous paperwork. He talked to her, clear it up. But when he knocked on her door, her response was ice cold. Gas-powered vehicles are a blight, she said, standing in her doorway, her hybrid gleaming in the drive. Maple Lane is going eco-friendly. Your truck doesn't belong here. It's my truck. Karen, I park it in my driveway. You can't dictate what I drive. She smirked, adjusting her sunglasses. HOA rules say otherwise. Read the fine print. Tom, we're banning fossil fuels. You'll thank me when the planet's saved. Tom walked away, his jaw tight. The HOA bylaws were vague, a mess of jargon about community aesthetics. But nothing banned gas vehicles outright. Karen was bluffing, he told himself. Still, the orange stickers kept coming, one every few days, each with a sharper tone. Final warning, immediate compliance required. Neighbors whispered about Karen's crusade, but no one spoke up. She'd already fined Mrs. Carter for her gas-powered leaf blower and shamed Mr. Patel into trading his sedan for an electric model. Fear hung over Maple Lane like a storm cloud. Weeks passed, and Tom's patience wore thin. He'd catch Karen driving by his house, slowing to glare at his truck, her phone snapping photos. He started parking it in his garage, but the HOA claimed that violated another rule about obstructing access. He couldn't win. Then came the letter, delivered by certified mail notice of vehicle removal. Non-compliant vehicle will be towed at owner's expense. Tom's blood boiled. This wasn't about rules, it was personal. Karen wanted control, and his truck was her target. He confronted her at the next HOA meeting, the community center packed with uneasy neighbors. You're overstepping. Karen, he said, holding up the letter. You can't tow my truck from my own property. Show me the rule. She stood, unruffled, her voice syrupy. It's about our values, Tom. Gas cars pollute. They lower property values. We voted for progress. Voted, Tom snapped. When I never saw a ballot. Murmurs rippled through the room. Karen's smile faltered, but she recovered. It was an executive decision for the greater good. The meeting ended with vague promises to review the issue. But Tom knew better. Karen wasn't backing down. The next morning, he woke to the screech of metal. He stumbled outside and still in his boxers to see a tow truck hauling his F-150 from the driveway. Tools clattered onto the asphalt wrenches, socket sets, his torque wrench, all spilling from the truck bed. The tow driver, a burly guy named Mike, looked apologetic. HOA orders. Man, I just follow the paperwork. Karen stood across the street, arms crossed, her hybrid parked like a trophy. You were warned, she called, her voice smug. Gas cars are illegal here now. Illegal, Tom roared, storming toward her. This is my home. You can't steal my truck. It's not stealing, she said, stepping back. It's enforcement. You're endangering our community. Neighbors gathered, phones out, recording the chaos. Tom's hands shook as he pointed at the truck, now dangling from the tow hook, its bumper scraped and dented. That's my livelihood. Karen, those tools cost me thousands. You're destroying my life. She shrugged. Should have gone electric. The crowd gasped. Mike hesitated, the tow truck idling. Tom's voice cracked. You're not saving the planet. You're bullying people. This ends now. But it didn't end. The tow truck drove off, and Tom was left staring at the empty driveway, his tools scattered like shrapnel. Karen's words echoed. Gas cars are illegal. She twisted the rules, weaponized the HOA, and no one stopped her. Tom spent the day calling lawyers, but they warned him HOA disputes were a nightmare, expensive, slow, and rarely won. He felt helpless, his anger simmering into despair. That night, he sat on his porch, staring at the wooden sign Karen had planted in his yard, Maple Lane Fossil-Free Zone. It was her victory marker, a taunt. But as he looked closer, he noticed something. The sign's permit sticker was expired. A small thing, but it sparked an idea. Karen wasn't untouchable. She'd made enemies, and Tom wasn't alone. He started digging. At the library, he pored over HOA records, finding gaps in Karen's executive decisions. No votes, no notices, just her signature on everything. He talked to neighbors, quietly at first. Mrs. Carter admitted Karen had threatened to fine her for her grandson's dirt bike. Mr. Patel said she'd pressured him into selling his car at a loss. Even Mike, the tow guy, grumbled about Karen's constant demands. She calls my boss daily, he said, thinks she runs the county. Tom's plan took shape. Karen's power came from fear, but fear could crumble. He printed flyers, simple ones, know your HOA rights, demand transparency. He slipped them into mailboxes, posted them on community boards. He filed a formal complaint with the county, citing the unpermitted sign and missing HOA votes. Neighbors started talking, their whispers turning to outrage. Karen's hybrid wasn't looking so shiny anymore. The showdown came at the annual HOA election. The community center was packed, the air electric with tension. Karen took the podium, her usual spiel about sustainability ready. But Tom stood up, holding a stack of documents, bylaws, county codes, and Karen's own violation notices. Karen Whitaker's been lying to us, he said, his voice steady. No vote banned gas vehicles. No rule lets her tow my truck. She's breaking the law, and we've got proof. He laid it out, the unpermitted signs, the forged executive orders, the fines she'd pocketed for HOA expenses. Neighbors gasped as he showed photos of his damaged truck, the tools she'd left to rust. Mrs. Carter stood, her voice shaking. She fined me for my leaf blower, then bought a new gazebo for her yard. Where's our money going? Mr. Patel joined in. She forced me to sell my car. Said it was policy? It wasn't. Karen's face reddened. This is slander, she shrieked. I'm protecting our community. Then show us the vote, Tom said. Show us the rule that says my truck's illegal. She couldn't. The room erupted, neighbors shouting, demanding answers. Karen stammered, her clipboard useless. The vote was called, and by a landslide, she was ousted as HOA president. But that wasn't the end. The county investigated, prompted by Tom's complaint. They found Karen had misused HOA funds, forged documents, and violated state laws on towing. Her fossil-free signs were illegal, lacking permits. Worse, she'd been profiting from the fines, funneling them into her personal account. The tow company, fed up with her demands, cooperated, Revealing she'd ordered dozens of illegal tows countywide, Karen's world collapsed. The HOA sued her for embezzlement. The state fined her for unlicensed towing operations. Her hybrid was repossessed to cover legal fees. A bitter irony. Neighbors shunned her. Her eco-friendly crusade exposed as a power grab. Tom got his truck back, though the damage cost thousands to repair. The HOA paid for it, using funds recovered from Karen's accounts. On a quiet Saturday, Tom sat in his driveway, polishing his F-150. The neighborhood felt lighter, the storm cloud gone. A new sign stood on his lawn, wooden and hand-painted Maple Lane Freedom to Choose. Neighbors waved as they passed, their gas-powered cars humming proudly. Karen's house was for sale, her windows dark. Tom smiled, his wrench glinting in the sun. Justice wasn't just a word, it was the sound of his truck's engine roaring to life.